this crowd comes to now have on this Western Shula tonight. The line of yeah, man, it's Jim.
It's a backpass with Ross on the mic. Talking for these stories, keeping vibes real tight. Legends and laughter, you know the drill. Backpass with Ride, football, better and chill. From SG to the region, we cover the game. Big names, small clubs, the passion's the same. Stories from the pitch and the ones untold. Backpass with Ride, where the beautiful game unfolds.
Welcome to Back Pass with Ras, with your host Ras. I'm back after a very long hiatus. I hope our technical issues have been resolved and we'll have a smooth sailing episode. It's a very special episode. Of course, it's our 100th episode, and for that special episode, we have to have a special guest. And on the show today, we've got Aleksandar Duric, who one of our listeners have very nicely coined the poster boy of naturalized Singapore citizens. So, Mr. Aleksandar Duric, welcome to Back Pass with Ras.
Most thank you for the you inviting me for the show. Yeah, I've been following your show for a long time, and I was waiting. When is my turn? Yeah.
We save you for the special occasion. Always had you earmarked for something like this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
On that note as well, let's start with I just spoke about this, about the term poster boy of naturalized Singapore citizens that one of the listeners gave. How did all this come about when you got the citizenship to represent Singapore? How's the process like? Did someone approach you?
No, actually, I think there's a wrong impression that I was naturalized by Football Federation or something like that. What was a previous, Egma and Mirko, if you remember, Farah, Agu and Precious. Actually, I actually was asked myself to be, I went and tried to be Singapore citizen. And as you know, to get a Singapore citizen is like, you really need to be, I understand you really need to be special, and you have to have some skill, which one is really needed for the country. And I was rejected a few times, definitely, of course. And when they reject you, they don't even really tell you a reason for rejection. They only just say, I'm so sorry, but you've been rejected for your citizenship. And I was a PR for some times because I think in 2001, when I was in Geylang, I already was a PR. And so when I got my citizenship, it was already in 2007. So I only started asking in 2006. And I was rejected, and I was playing that time for SAFSA, Singapore Forces, and all I wanted to actually be Dutch citizen because I actually searched for the home. Honestly, this is the story which one is behind my why I really become Singaporean, because before that, when I was applying for the citizenship, my daughter was born in 2002. Then my son was born in 2004 in Glen Eagles. And then I realized, wow, this is really nice. This is I can kind of call the home and say, okay, now I'm in a right place, in the right age. I'm still playing football. I didn't know at that time how long I'll play. I was already basically 37, coming to the end of my career. So I was just hoping, how I wanted to be. But let me tell you, I was Australian before that. So I had it wasn't a bad passport also, but I just really wanted to be part of Singapore because I before that I spent so much. I had the best friends, and best memories was already there, and so I thought myself, okay, I will be. And when I got it in 2007, funny things is when I get a call up for national team. There's a story behind. Not many people knows that actually I wanted to reject that call because I was 37, enjoying playing my football in SAFSA. If you remember 2007, we basically won the league far ahead of we were I think it was until October the time we played. August already we was a champion. We won the cup. This is our was a second champion as a S League champion cup. We won already. So it was like I was flying. I scored that year 44 goals together with the cup. So it was a really good season for me. And I was thinking when I got a call up from the FAS, I remember that time general manager was Colonel Koch, and he come down to our training and he brought me to the side and he said, Alex, congratulations. And I thought maybe he's saying I was nominated for the Player of the Year or something like that.
Okay.
And then and I said, but what is the congratulations? He said, oh, you just get a call up for the national team. And I was like, and before that, I spoke to actually Radi. Radi called me a few times, and I told him, I said, nicely, I told him, I say, Coach, I'm 37, and I enjoy my football, and I know coming into national team, whatever national team you're talking about, is a huge pressure. It's a totally different ball game. People don't understand how much is internationally you play, and in the domestically, it's a totally different level of football. And I know that. I mean, I play football for so long. And I told him, I said, do you really need me? He said, think about that. I'll see. I may call you, may not. Of course, he straight away called me, of course, because he's, he wanted to try me. He really wanted to try me. And he told me, congratulations, Colonel Koch, that told me, oh, Alex, congratulations. He said, you'll do well. It's easy for you. You are so fit and all this. I said, sir, I'm 37. Do I really need now another challenge in my life? Because it really was a big challenge. But I didn't want to disappoint the club, and because South SF was really good to me. And also I didn't want to disappoint the league. And I knew most of the players. And the funny, this first game against Tajikistan in November in 2007, I remember was my first game in the national team, and the last game for our captain, great ID Iskander. So it's happened in the same night. He stepped down as a captain and a player, and I come in, and I shouldn't start the game. I remember there was a night before I was just with the team. I just joined the team like 2 days before. I knew him, all the players I knew him, because some of them play with me in SF, some will play against me, but it's like, Singapore is so small. And I was really well welcomed. And I remember already say, don't worry, you just sit on the bench. And there was a World Cup qualifier. He said, you just sit on the bench and you'll be fine. And I think Indra was that time got injured, or somebody got injured. And he said, oh, sorry, you need to start game tomorrow. I said, you promised me I'm not going to start. I don't want to start the game because I just wanted to come in if I need it. And of course, I started the game. I felt sorry for the Tajikistan because I was flying. I fell for the players. I scored 2 goals. I mean, we won 2-0. I think I hit the post 2 times in the second half. I could actually run for 3 days if I needed. And, old national stadium. And it was crazy feeling. But I enjoy. So to answer the question, no, I wasn't a naturalized like rest of the guys. Nobody helped me. It was me, myself, and I was not say luck. I think that maybe some people recognize my hard work and what I give to the football in S League and generally, because I was playing, and I always, until today, people come and always tell me, oh, we only love the football because of you. We come to watch the football. Which one is missing today, to be honest? There was a big names in those days, and the people come to watch games because of those names. And I didn't know that, because when you play games, you play to win the games and give your best on the field. But it's really amazing that until today, really, I see the people, older people, younger people, they come. Oh, I was a so small boy. I used to come. My dad used to bring me just to watch you, and he was telling me about you. And now I see you on the street. And I was like, yeah, it's a great, yeah. So that was good memories, yes.
All right, so that's an exclusive here. So Duric applied for citizenship on his own. He wasn't naturalized by FAS.
Nope, definitely not.
Due to this perception as well, do you ever face any rejections from Singaporeans that they say, oh, you just got naturalized by FAS and or they treated you differently?
That on that note, that time was as usual as today, and it's always is a big news when some naturalized players come and take the place of the local boys, and fully understandable in not just in Singapore but everywhere else. There's no way there's anybody who will be happy. People who is around the football that this happening, but today. And been a long time in other countries is a lot of naturalized players, but we don't really see that much. How much is a Singapore so small place? But I personally never ever had a issue that somebody come and told me, you are the lousy naturalized player, you are this and that. They actually, most people, whatever they come and say to me, oh, we come and watch football because of you in the league and the clubs and the national team. They also said, you are only one who really we admire as you always give 100%. You was always on the field. You show yourself as a role model off the field, and we always enjoy just watching you and seeing you on the streets, because you are like that. So it's a good thing. So I didn't have actually any bad experience. Of course, overseas I did. When we play Singapore, we against players in other countries, they used to come and say you are a rejected player and you are just Singapore take you because but I didn't really care much about that those players because I love to play against our neighborhood countries, and they are one mostly who say that. But now if you look at the trend of the football, especially in Southeast Asia, there is no country who don't have a naturalized player, and is something which one is pro and cons, because he helped the team. What we need to have, not giving myself as an example, but we need those players who've been playing in the national team stay in the country. It doesn't. That's why people don't like. They realize that some of the players, they get naturalized once they finish, they leave or they go. But I believe, you really need to give back to the community, give back to the country, because you get opportunity to play it for the national team, and it's a huge honor. People don't understand how big his honor is, and for me it was a biggest honor to represent the country. Even I wasn't born here. This country give to me life, give me the family, give me the opportunity to show who I am actually, and that's why I'm grateful, and also that's why I'm giving back until today. I'll never stop giving back to community and giving back to the country, back whatever I can in any capacity of myself.
All right, nice segue as well to the start of your life in Yugoslavia, as it was known back then. How was life in Yugoslavia when you were growing up?
I as I mentioned, I have 4 kids. I mean, after my 2 older one who was born in 2002 and 4, I adopted another 2 boys. So I have 4 kids, and I know they're already big, and at least three of them are very big. Youngest is 7. So I always talk to them about my time, and they always said me, they always same story I heard from my sons. They said, "Daddy, you're old school. Doesn't exist this kind of things." It's true. So I can tell you that the life was totally different. It was much tougher. It was something when we didn't. We was I grew up in communist country, and I was in small village. Sport generally was a escape from the harsh life. So the kids, we all play sports, football. We pretend that we are some superstars on that age, and we make the teams of the AC Milan, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona, or the Red Star Belgrade, or Partizan, or Dinamo Zagreb, or Hajduk Split. So it was that kind of things, and in the school, and we play everywhere. They on the streets, there was a lot of broken windows in our villages, in the streets, and a lot of in the school broken windows, and we wasn't really rich, and football balls was no such a thing. We had this old Adidas ball. I was explaining people there was a leather ball, and you had inside in the leather ball was just outside was a leather, inside was like a balloon, and if this balloon broke, you have to open up, take out, bring to the somewhere to make the put it like some glue, and then you put it back, pump, and then you need to bring somebody to stitch back to and that ball, when it's so heavy, and if it's raining, really we all had like tattoos of the Adidas ball on our backs or the front or on our face, because when they hit you, really stay there as a
It's like a medicine
memory.
ball. Is it like a medicine ball?
Like a kind of medicine ball, but we love it. And the kids who had this kind of ball was mostly parents who lived in overseas, work in Germany and all this, and they will bring those Adidas ball. And this kid was precious for us because he's the only one, and we will play. Well, I read that somewhere, and it's true. We will play the football until this boy said, "Mom," and said, "Oh, hey, you have to go home," because he will take the ball off from us, and then it's the end of the game. So there was yeah, it's much different. We had so much more free time. There wasn't phones. There wasn't in the house. We didn't have a TV. There was just a radio. And on Sundays we will listen to the radio. On the 3 p.m. will be start games, and there will be radio commentators from the different games. And the football was amazing. And we all dreamed to be sportsmen. Most kids who had any talent was dream to be football player or some big sportsman, and we was encouraged by parents, encouraged by schools, encouraged by community, encouraged by government to take the sport. There was a really big things, and today it's still going on, because I go there and quite often now these days, and I look at I just wanted to see difference. But they also struggle because new generation, because of the social media, because of the phones, because of the different kind of life, they also struggle to get the kids out. But in my time, PE was a most favorite subject, and subject which one, believe or not, was passed or fail. So basically, you could fail in the PE or music or arts. Which one today I'm looking my kids here. They go school is PE is like you wanted to do or you don't wanted to do arts. You wanted to do like we had it's a funny thing. So I have to tell you a story. Like none of us liked the music, but was fail or pass. So you have to sing. They will come and you have to sing. You like or don't like it. He was going to sing, and we all sing because you're going to fail from the subject. I wish honestly Singapore to think about in MOE to one day to bring that fail or pass on those subjects, because as much we are very good in math, science, and English and Chinese or whatever languages. Let me tell you, it's time for bring some old school which one is failing or passing of the PE, and or bring there as a proper subject, because is looking today the kids and the motor skills of our kids generally, not just in Singapore, everywhere around the world. We're going to have a big problems in the future generation, and I believe this is something which we should consider to think about in the near future, to bring that as a real subject with the failing and passing, because then you will get the kids to really understand that that's how important is to this motor skill and the trainings. Yeah. So, but it was rough. It was a lot of competition. We learned from the kids to be really competitive against each other in the good way, and the parents wasn't involved. I'll have to say the parents never was involved. My father, when I was a kayaker and when I was a football player, he never come to watch any of my games. He didn't have a time, but he will ask me, "Did you win or lose?" But the coaches was really strict. That was really strict. We used to get slapped. We used to get use the really tough languages. But that was a time when you have to wake up and there was really brutal in the sense of there wasn't really nice languages there to tell you when you are no good, you are no good. They will tell you in the face you're no good, and tell your parents you should go and try another sport or this. It was very straightforward.
Yeah.
Which one we can't do that today. We are really. Today is everything is I understand it's sometimes it's harsh, and but in my time there was a language we only knew it.
Yeah, understand. Same to me as well in my time. But Yugoslavia went through a very tragic moment. There was a war that broke out. I mean, tragically for you as well, you lost your mother due to the war.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, I read that to keep the Duric name running, keep your
Yes.
legacy going, your
Yes.
father asked you to leave the country so that at least someone will be
Yes.
around and to keep the name running and the legacy going, and how you've carried the name as well, I must say. But just bring us back to that moment, because probably for most of us, we will not really understand what's really going on because we've never been in a war, touch wood. But
Yes.
how was it like being in the middle of a war? First of all,
I
just
mean,
tell us that first.
yeah. I mean, I was as Yugoslavia when I was growing up. We all the males is compulsory was to go in army, same like a
Okay.
Singapore.
Oh,
And when you turn 17, you can be called up for the national duty anytime. So I was already that time a well-known sportsman in the kayaking.
mm,
uh, Yugoslavian champion in as a junior, was in World Cup and all these things. And in communist country, those kind of kids who was really role models was for the youth. They usually be called up and pick up for the army schools to become officers. And I wasn't different. I was also picked to go into the one of the toughest army college in our country. Basically, it's very far. It was like that camp was. I can tell you, I was traveling there nearly 2 days with the train. It's like from here to Langkawi. There wasn't fly and all these kind of things. So it was
yeah.
only simple travel. And I went there. I was at top of the class, and I become an army officer in just few years before the war going to broke up. And of course, when the war was coming, we all knew it because we tried to, prevent. And you are national army, you are national guards.
Yeah.
It's like but we didn't expect it that will be. I myself and a lot of my friends, and we really never expected there will be this brutal and this like a really hating civil war. And basically, actually, wars end up started by race and religion, which one is
Yeah.
easier to start any conflicts. And we was all mixed. I mean, a lot of my family members was married with different race and religion, and you can imagine those multiracial marriages where they can belong. And when the war broke up, I was in first couple of months in the war as a National Guard. I was commander of the unit. Went in one very bad part of the war, and I telling my kids I was 20 years old and I was in war, seeing dead bodies and and fighting. Not fighting. I will not say fight. I didn't even know who we fighting because we was trying to break these fights.
Okay.
But end of the day, you to survive, you really need to be on your toes. Otherwise, you're going to get
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but until I realized this is not going to stop. I was well seen, and when you are there, then you see that's what's going on. And unfortunately, I had a bad experience because I refused to fight because I was a commander, and I got into the trouble because I was basically arrested and then sent back to my hometown for the further prosecution and as an army court.
Mm.
Likely, my father had some people there, and they allowed me come for one day just to see my family. And same night I was driven in to the cross the border and to Hungary. And I was thinking I was just crossing for next 6 months, maybe 1 year. This will stop because somebody will say this is crazy. We need to stop. And my father, I remember the words he told me because I was a sportsman. My brother was a uni man and will study. But he was in hometown also back, and he told us, I need to carry the legacy of the because we are very traditional, and as you know, you have a voice, and somebody need to carry and he knew it. He will go back to fight, and my brother will go, and if I was in jail, they will send me definitely back to the front line. And so he told me, you are younger and you have a more experience as a sport. I think your sport can bring you somewhere, hopefully. Never knew it where I'm going to go. And he said, you have a better connection than any my brother Milan. And that's how I end up in Hungary as a refugee. So overnight you cross the border, one small border you cross, and overnight you forget, you lose lose the family, you lose the country, you lose the your youth, you lose your memories, you lose the everything, and you just become world refugees overnight. It's just in like one moment, and then I was 21, and you thinking, oh well, it's like let's now see how to survive, and same time I was always thinking, oh, this one will stop and stop, and then until after actually my mom was killed in year after war started in the during the war. Father was injured in same day, and I lost a lot of family members in a different part of Yugoslavia because of that conflict. And the funny things in after when all this stopped, and we now live again peacefully, and like it's not that like of course you never forget, but we're trying to forgive this what happened, and try to build up from somewhere. But it's very tough because it's world is moving super fast.
Yeah.
And Europe is also, you have a European Union, and we are not part of European Union. When you are not part of European Union, definitely economically, and you struggle and socially, and so a lot of youngsters move out, and like myself, I was basically, I will not say I was lucky where I am today, but I think my hard work, and I think I'm a very positive guy. I believe in to be positive, and you don't get yourself into negative mind. Otherwise, you really struggle. So yes, it was a part of my life when I really struggle with mentally. I was struggling because you're on your own, and in the foreign country you don't understand language. If anybody heard Hungarian language, you will not understand anything. But I have few really good friends. I have some people who really helped me. I took all these things opportunity to to start playing football after my Olympic Games when I went for in Barcelona in 1992 for Bosnia. This also didn't bring me any good things. I have to mention now I was first Olympian for Bosnia and Herzegovina, and usually when you're Olympian, you are like a star, and you are people really put you in like a special category as a sports. In my case, half of Bosnia was really cheering for me because they was happy to have me as Olympian, first, and the half Bosnia, which one was my race, which one is Serbians. They was trying to tell me that one day we will catch you and we will kill you in first sign. So I was, blacklisted in one side. They're going to kill me. Another side was so like, and that's my story, And then after that, because my father wasn't happy with my decision to go for Bosnia because the flag which one I was that time carry was actually flag which one my father and my brother and my family was fighting against. So he is head of the family, and he was kind of, I guess I can't now say I believe that that was one of the reason he didn't talk to me until he died, because he thought that I was a traitor because I really go against his wishes, to not to go to Olympic Games, and and I really wanted to go because end of the day I'm a Bosnian. I love my Bosnians because it's a country where I was grow up. I was born there. I have my first schools, first love, and my families was there, and so I see Bosnia as a country, and Bosnian people, whatever they Serb, Croatian, Muslims, I don't care. I have a best friends who is from different race, religion, and until today we are like a brothers and sisters, and so so that how it should be. This is the world. Good world, and in good hands and in good heart. That's how it look like. But of course, unfortunately, we take in the different way. So I struggle after that. But sport actually give me I always say sport give me life, give me some opportunity to be in the some safe environment. I believe. Whatever you do, any sports is really good because it really help you in the sense to belong somewhere.
So the place where you were born and brought up today is Bosnia.
Today me and my luck, cause I said luck. Bosnia is now in split in three entities. And so one is the Bosnia Herzegovina, one is a Serbian entity which is called Serbian Republic, and one is, I think, down in south of Bosnia is it's a Croatian one small entity. And so my city is just on the border and is a part of the Serbian Republic, you know. So so it's a majority of the Serbian population. But my city is named very small town. It's called Doboj, but it's very multi-ethnic today. I've been a few times back, you know, in last couple of years, and I must say this is really nice. And as people is back, of course, a lot of these people, my generation, left out. Anybody who could go somewhere, they went out. So it's a lot of new people who's come from another part of the Bosnia and living there. But that's where I was born.
And the interesting part, so you spoke about the Olympic Games in 92. And at the same time, Yugoslavia were not allowed to participate.
No.
Or had to withdraw from Euro 92, which famously Denmark took their place and won the Euros. And that Yugoslavian team was known as the Brazil of the Balkans.
Yeah, we was at top of the group, like a far away. That was in 92. I remember clearly we was in we won the group like far ahead of the Denmark, and Denmark was the second. And when we was by UN was sanctioned, we lost that, and Denmark came on, and funny, they won in the end. They won. I spoke actually recently with Peter Schmeichel. I saw him, and he was joking to me. He said, "Alex, thanks for the withdrawal." I said, "No, we didn't withdraw. It was just somebody else's withdrawal for us, you know." But he was telling me story that he went in holiday, and they called him to come back from holiday and I mean, this is something which one has always been in you know, when you are a small country and it shouldn't. I believe that team was that was a dream team. When you say the dream team of the basketball in USA, this was a dream team of Yugoslavia.
And have you had the chance of playing against some of these players when you were in Yugoslavia?
No, I was a youth. I didn't because I was playing in I would say the second division teams in the youth. But that team also is very strong. That was and I was juggling these sports. I was really good in many sports. So of course, as I mentioned, canoeing, kayaking was my really good sport. Football was I really enjoy playing summer football. Kayaking was all year round. I was good in handball because we had in my hometown is a European champions, a handball champion. So I used to play handball very well. I play tennis. When I was younger, my father really never stopped me to be in one sport. So he was basically really exposed to many sports, not just in outside on the street, but also with the clubs and also by in the school. So, and one thing you have to say, in communist country, sport was free. Everything was free. Okay. So when you join the club, you get a jerseys, you get everything. It was all free. It was free, and it was really good because it's help in some way parents, and you know, it's sport. I always say it is a poor kind of people to take, and none of us had actually. My parents never had the money, and no way they could afford anything. But in communist country, especially in my side where I was, every sport was free, and the coaches was most of the time. One or two was full time, but mostly volunteers, coaches, but they was good. That was good. There was a general, you know, those coaches in the 70s, 80s, 90s. There was really coaches with their passion, and they didn't really think about any money, but they was really into that to make some world champions or make good players or players. I'll say one things, but good people of the country. They always in my I remember when I was a kid, if you wasn't good in the school and you didn't have a good rates in the school, there's no way you could come for training. There was coaches who was called teachers. There's no way you come, no way. So we always make sure that we passed every subject. There was like that, and you don't need to go to your father and mother and say, "Hey, mom," no. You go to coach, and coach will tell you straight away, you don't need to come tomorrow. because until you get, because they will be non-stop calling the schools and checking on you if we was in the football and even in kayaking. And many time I wasn't really best student, but because of those discipline we had, there was no chance. You don't need to go and. My mom and dad no need to tell me I'm going to study or not, because I know my coach is waiting, and he will tell you in the face, can you be in the team or no? So it's that's how I was at that time.
All right. So that kayaking part as well, Yugoslavia were not, but I don't think they were participating in the
no, didn't. They
Olympics.
didn't also. Yeah,
So-
they were same.
So you just represented Bosnia.
Yes.
Okay, understand. Now coming to Singapore now, your first impression of Singapore?
Hot and humid. Stadium very small. My first day in Tanjung Pagar, I can tell you, in 1999 when I came in April. I remember coming from airport. Mr. Richard Woon was our general manager. He waited for me on the airport. White Mercedes, I can tell you now. You can ask him. White Mercedes, man in dress, $1 million, Rolex on the hand, and I thought, gosh, this guy looked like a Hong Kong mafia. They're like a mafia from the movies. And then he brought me to the training in Queenstown in afternoons. And I remember I asked him first question. I said, well, it's quite old stadium. I mean, it's like they never really changed. I mean, recently now it's okay. Now is they're building the new stadium, but until recently it was all same grandstand, everything, swimming pool upstairs, and everything was even dressing rooms was containers. And I asked him, I said, oh, this is not bad. I mean, it's quite small. It's not bad for training. And so where's the main stadium for the games? And then he looked at me, he said, well, welcome to the stadium. This is everything. You train here and you play here. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, but took me a while to understand the football in the Southeast Asia, to understand, to get this like a small pitches, small stadiums, small, the players and the way how they train. There's I would say that, and the heat was really for me the big problem. And so, and I don't know if you remember those days was, go home ugly in the Strait Times and the new paper was every week was actually that time was a really huge coverage of the S League and late 90s and 2000s. So it was like I remember those kind of like columns when it was like who played well of the, and mostly there was a funny things. I always asked, that time was a coach Tohari Paijan. I used to ask him, coach, why they always talk about foreign players? What about local players? We was always on target. The foreign players, ugly go home, and the who play well. And if you are an ugly go home, if you are 2-3 times on those lists, trust me, you are gone. I saw that list, and I remember when I was reading those lists, and I was hoping I'll never be on that list in the first couple of months, and I was a few times, because I realized if your name is a 2-3 time there, you are gone, and no contract can help you. Because I remember that time foreigners was coming like every 2-3 months was a new foreigner, and was like changes was a dramatic like, and it wasn't good, but it's like a pressure was. I have to say it, but it was a pressure on the foreign players to really perform. Basically, it was like take the ball. I had a feeling that I have to take the ball from the Dragan Talajic, who was that time coach, goalkeeper in Tanjung Pagar with us, and dribble every place and score goal. I mean, like, that was a task, And but I would say that maybe I'm nostalgic and all this, but it was a good crowd, and football was really good because the foreign players quality was really good. It was really good, and the local boys was you're talking about. I remember Fandi was still there. I mean, it was Nazri, Rafi, Samavira Basri, Lim Tohai, Steven Tan, all the generation of the players, and Rudy Kairul,
Manhong, I think.
Manhong, and there was like a bunch of players, like who's like, could play anywhere, anytime. Alam Shah was coming. I remember playing in Semberman Rangers was like my like biggest nightmare to go there and play in Yishun Stadium. Really, the young boys, they hungry, they angry, they will rip you off, man. I was like, oh, I hated the team, man. And any team I was played, when I actually, to be honest, I was so sad when they went down in the club. But I was also same time also happy in one way because I thought, oh, finally they're not there anymore. I had nothing to fight anymore because it was crazy, crazy. Those boys and like so generation good players was coming through. So yeah, that was my first impression in '99. Small stadiums, pitches wasn't really good, but the football was good. Football was good.
And you returned to Australia after one season in Singapore. Why was that so?
Because nobody wanted me. I scored that season 14 goals. And that was cool. The time, Home United called, but wasn't nothing concrete. And I had a really good offer from a Sydney club in Sydney. And I thought myself, I'll go there and, continue playing Australia because the Australian league was, they wanted me to go. So I went there for 6 months. And then I got a call up from the Home United general manager, Mr. Nudin. And Robert Albert wanted me to change some Danish striker. And I came and I was played in Indra and Egma. And, I played more on the left side that time. I wasn't really target man yet. And that was my position all the time. I was more like a left winger. I like that position more than I still enjoy playing on the left side than as even I score so many goals as a target man, but I always like that position to be on the left, be free, up and down, because I was always fit and fast, so I like that position. But the Home United, we won the cup. We beat the SF in the final National Stadium. I think that was. I have to say that was the biggest crowd in the National Stadium, All Kallang. If you remember, it was about 47,000 people came in 2000. There was a good game. We won 1-0. I think Ernie Tapai scored from penalty, and we won the Singapore Cup. And it was a great crowd, great game. But even coming to that game also was a lot of tough games. Every game in Cup, I remember, was really tough. And then after that is history. Then I got a call from the Mr. Patrick Geylang chairman, and and I signed. Actually, these funny things in S League was always 1 year contract because it's basically they always wanted you to keep you on the toes to play well. I know the trick because then you really have to perform. If you don't perform, they will kick you out. So, but Patrick was the only man who is in. He told me, Alex, I don't want you to be here for 1 year. I want you to be here for a long time. I want you to retire. You retire with me because I can see your quality, and I want you to lead the team. And he really helped me, and he really believed in me. And he was the man who really gave me like wings in the football term. He gave me like he protected me, and in the sense that he told me, you stay here for 5 years, not for 1 year. I want to see you. I want to build club and team around you. I want the young players who will be coming through, and there was some really good young players coming from a youth system of Geylang. I want them to you be in charge of them. I want everybody see you as a role model, and so really my best years started the playing, and it was in a day I scored my first 100 goals. First year of the 2001, we won that only time in the Geylang won the Singapore S League. And we, and guess what? That time, Safsa and Home United had their best two teams. Far better than us. We were super young team, and Janjung was coach, and that was a really good years of the Geylang United, and under Patrick Ang, and and we have the technical director was Seth Polyong. So we really have a good support. And that's what you need in football. So then I went to Safsa and carried the team there. And then, of course, I'll never forget Tampines Rovers and with Mr. Theo, who also told me same things to carry on team, and I was 39 years old, and I moved to SAF in 2005. It was Paulson who took Sorry?
Was it Jan Poulsen?
No, it wasn't Ian. It was what's his name? Paulson. He was a young Lions coach. He was a national coach. It was a
Okay.
was it Paulson? I forget this name. He was really nice, but he only stayed one season. Then he took over the Danish first division team. So, but
Wow.
he built up also team, and he wanted me to be a leader and come to build. And me and Noor Ali came after, and few of us came. Tersak Chaiman came, and then in 2006, actually there was an English coach. Forget his name. He was the coach, and we didn't really started well in 2006, but we had a quite good team. And then Richard Bock came in nearly after, I think, 5-6 games, and that was after. It was just history. We was from 2006 to 2009 really the team to watch, not just by the way we played, the players we had. And there was a lot of youngsters players coming through. There was a lot of players who was that time in SAF army squad. There was this army unit, sport unit who was those kids who was coming through and playing. Yeah. And it was a really good system. When I really believe that was really good one. And we was really, I mean, we had I remember the players we were true amazing. I mean, it's like I scored, I think 200 goals I scored there in the 4 season, 4-time champions, 2-time cup champion. I mean, 2-time player of the year, 3 times top scorer. I mean, like I can't even won so many
3 consecutive years. You're top scorer, player of the year twice.
Is it?
S-League People's Choice Award once.
Yes.
We won the S-League 4 consecutive years: 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Singapore Cup 2007, 2008. The Charity Shield in 2008. That's what you win in SAFFC.
Now you know that I don't even know. I can't even remember this. But I know I won many things, but I can't. It's like there's a lot of trophies was there, and Richard Bock as a coach was amazing, and the support from the we had this amazing general manager Colonel Koch, who was leaving for football and leaving for the team, for the club. It was really, really well organized. It's so sad that when I saw that the team, club went down and closed down, and one of these historically like one of the biggest club in
yeah.
And then you when you look at this and then you see we do mistakes, and I believe we still don't learn from those mistakes. We are still struggling to find the right formula how to sustain and how to bring that league bigger and better, because at the moment how many clubs and we have, I think it's not enough. We should, I can't remember how many clubs it was that time, but it was definitely more than now.
Yeah, it was about between 10 to 12, I believe.
Yes, I think 10 to 12, yes. Yeah. And then after SAFSA, no, I really wanted to go. I really wanted to retire in SAFSA. There was a talk. They told me that me and Tersak, they wanted to build something new. They wanted to bring new team, youngsters, and we are coming up 39, 40 years old, and I told them, I said, I fully agreed. I mean, I only have a best things from I never had any issue with that, and we shake hands, and the next moment here I am, Mr. Theo is calling and saying, Alex, finally you are free to come to my club, and so. And then another history, another 5 years of the great playing for the great club for the great man, the man who really, I don't know what to say about Mr. Theo. Is like not that just boss, but he was a father before generation, before players who was playing before me, and when I played for him, and after until he retired and went out from the club, he was a one-man show, one club called Mr. Theo Club. Mr. Theo, because he respects so much players. He knew how to really managing the team, managing the coaches. And we had an amazing coach, also Thai coach, Vorovan, who really loved playing football, like a good attacking football. He loved that, and I enjoy every moment, every session, trainings. I used to love going to the session because I just love to be in his training because his training was all with the ball and everything was like attacking. He just wanted to. He didn't really care how many goals we will, copped as long as we score so many goals. So it was like amazing the way, and we had so many attacking players. You're talking about Khalil Amri, Alam Shah, myself. Ahmad Latif was like a player who could do whatever he wanted with the ball when he was in his own in his good mindset. He could do whatever he like Maradona. So we had a Farah, myself, and we had a good Japanese players, Thai players. Amazing combination of the young local boys and the foreign players. Yeah, that was a good time. I think we. Yeah, 3 times. I think I won 3 times league. I think 3 times.
Let me read to you what you won at Tampines Rovers. So S League 3 times, 2011, 2012, 2013. Charity Shield 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. S League Player of the Year 2012. S League Top Scorer 2013.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh,
so there's still a lot of trophies you won at Tampines.
Yeah, I mean, it's considering I was already in 40s and Beep Test was still around. Don't forget, people who are listening this, who's going to listen or listening this broadcast, I have to remind them there was a Beep Test around for a long time in my generation, and I can tell you, honestly, today, if this Beep Test come back, it will be questionable how many of these boys will pass this Beep Test because as much we say 13-1. But 13-1, it's a lot. It's not a lot. Actually, for me, it was easy. But fortunately, a lot of that's mental things. It's not actually physical. It's more mental. It's mental, how much you're very mentally strong to run this 20-meter up and down. But so I could say that, okay, people say, oh, Alex, you play in early 40s. But I told him always, I played, but don't forget, before I played, there was one thing, it's called beep test, and if you don't pass that beep test, you will not play. They will not give you to play, and so there was a good things, yeah.
And which of these clubs would you say is closest to your heart today?
That's a tough question. Start from the Tanjung Pagar. I just can say the best of the Tanjung Pagar because they are one who give me the kind of life to come here in Singapore and going through the Geylang, my good years, and of course Safsa when being with a great team and Tampines,
Home United as well,
and Home United between for a while. It's all those clubs, and they all big clubs with a big history. I would say it in the end. Because I was in my late age, and I would say the Tampines was something which one I enjoyed every way I played, but the Tampines was special in the way we was handled as a players by Mr. Teo and his family. I would say then the way they respect each player, the way he approach each player, they give support and and whatever we needed, he was always there for us, for all of us, for the team, for the club, for he live, breathe for the club, and amazing. And he brought the Tampines was really Tampines club. I will say the Tampines area and surrounded the club in a stadium, the old stadium. I'm not talking OTH now, but old stadium. Hey, there was I will never forget. I think 2013 and 12 when we played the game against Home United. It was a sold out stadium because it was a win or lose. Who's going to win there was because the league at that time was always like 1 or 2 points. One team will win. There was always so close. These top 4 teams, and we won that. I remember, and he was there, it's like Tampines, our yellow submarine. Oh yes, I do. I watched the last game. They played. I do follow. I would say they are still in the good hands because his Noor Rahman is doing a great job. And of course, Gavin was him, and Farah was really doing well. I mean, it's a totally different football today when we're talking about in my time. So it's a lot of more tactical. It's more it's a more detailing than we used to play. We was more like a, just attack, play for the crowd, play for the, play for the entertainment. Yes, it was a much more entertainment my time. It was games when you are really, you don't know who's going to win. Today, when you watch the games, is you basically can feel who's going to win, and teams who is, who have a possession and all this is a more slower game. Is like no much in risk. They like how we used to take the risk, take one against one and run with the ball as much you can. And today is all passing, movement, and some pattern of the play. Yeah, I would say that.
And out of all the strike partners you had, who were some of the best partners you worked with?
Oh gosh, I would say that Alam Shah is one.
Okay.
I'm a Latif. I mean, Alam Shah was great. I mean, he was a man who I think he could play anywhere in Asia. Today I have to say before I say the names why I played. Today we see so many youngsters or players going around to play in Southeast Asia, Thailand, and all this as Asian players. Yeah. Let me tell you, those players who play with me that time, the local boys, no Asian players, they could go anywhere to play in Asia as a foreign players. How good they was. Alam Sharif in his prime, nobody could stop that guy. He was a monster of the, of the striker, and aggression he had, and the jumps and strong in the ball and run for the team and help. It's a different level, honestly. And Ahmad Latif, I love that guy. I mentioned his name just before because people may know who is he. But that guy was like also some super talented. Gusta. If anybody go Gusta from Home United, if you remember anybody in midfield player who was my generation, he was one of the best midfield players. But unfortunately, many injuries and some out of game issues. Could also be one of the greatest player ever played. I mean, it's like so. I said Alam Shah, Indra. I played Egma. I had a chance to play with him in Home United as a foreign player. I will say there's Khairul Lamri. Another superstar. I mean, he's like a guy who can play left leg, right leg. Was gentleman of the game. I would say Chuli also was another player who was like a laziest. You could watch him and you think this guy is the laziest player, but in his days and his games, nobody could stop him. Not just in the training, in the games, and so I had this privilege to play with most of them, and I'm happy to share some goals and assistance with them. Yeah.
All right. And the toughest defenders you faced in the league?
Oh gosh, it's like I would say that if you remember, there of course Bahaki was one when he was very young, was really tough, and it was always tough. ID Iskander, it was Sasi, if you remember Sasi Kuma.
Yeah.
Then Subramani, Suba was always on you. Everywhere you go, he will be there. He was the fittest guy, also like myself. We always had very good battles. ID Iskander. Daniel Bennett, Precious. I would say there's like many. Yeah, there's like just few names. It's like those generation was really good.
Any foreign players that stand out in your mind? Foreign defenders.
I will say there's from strikers. If you remember Brian Botwell. I don't know if anybody know my teammates in the Gelang, and he used to won a thing in Brunei and Malaysian Cup. That was a player. That was a player with a heart, and there was a striker. As a defenders, I had this opportunity to play against this Croatian guy who was before me, but he said Papunya. There was a bold guy, then a big guy from Safsa. If you Croatian defender, Nenad Bacina, if you remember from Safsa. Nenad Bacina was one of them. Very tough. I played also against my good friend Fabio De Silva, who was playing time in Jurong, when was the Sundram in coach, and there was some names in a day. If you remember the I can't forget the names here. There was big names in that time, and I was like big, strong guys, and they like to kick more than they play football. So there was like Boyan Hodak was also in Jurong. I remember when Boyan was playing in for Sundrab also. He used to kick me and he tell me in my language, sorry Alex, I didn't mean it, but you are too fast, so I only can kick you. So then I used to laugh and I was like, hey, what is that excuse?
Those were the days, isn't it?
Yes, and it wasn't VR and all these things. The referee was also, if you
no
remember,
VR,
old referees was Malik, Abbas, Kennedy, all this. There was a tough referees also. You couldn't really say much about Shamsul, the old.
Maidin,
Yeah, Shamsul Maidin was a good referees, and it was like really command of the games. There was a, no, like these days, I sometimes I feel like a place is so much in having to say something, but there shouldn't be.
And you won the AFF in 2012, which I was quite surprised to know, because I thought you were part of the one or two of the previous winning teams.
Yes, and we failed badly in Indonesia, and we failed badly in that was in 2008 and 2010. What was in 2010? Can't remember anymore.
2010, I think, was in Indonesia. I know Malaysia won it.
Yes, yeah. So we fell, and I was disappointed, and to be honest, I didn't think that I would last until 2012. I guess my games in Tampines helped me to keep in my place there. But I wasn't already that time in I wasn't really first 11. I was more like bench player coming in and out, which I was fine with me. It was and even the game against Malaysia, we won 3-0 in Sharlam when we was in a group with them. Actually, nobody gave us the chance. I remember the pre-qualifiers. We didn't really play well. We lost many games in friendlies and all this. So I know the Singapore as a country said it will be another disappointed campaign. But let me tell you, we on our own, we had the feelings that we have team, but we just needed to show that on the field, and we did. I think that the group stage when we went there against Indonesia, Malaysia, and we beating them in 3-0. That was a game. That was a turning. I believe that was a turning point for us to win the Suzuki Cup. After that game, we really didn't really fear anybody. We was like flying from every position. Was I think the Shari Lishak, I forget. Yeah, he was one of my teammates. Also one of the greatest player. Our captain. He was in a form of the I think it's his life. Honestly, whatever he said, and if you ever I can say that was his games of the life in those tournaments. And I mean, in the end, he got as a most valuable player. And but we had a really experience. We had a mixture of experienced players and youngsters, and we just wanted to. Every game was coming. We was better and better and better. And when we came to the end with the Thailand, looking there, I remember looking them in eyes. They knew they was really scared of us. And Thailand is not a team, And even when we played away their game in they were scared. They were scared of us. And we actually, I had this chance. I remember the guy saved from the line, and we really battle every ball, because we knew this is it. And we really wanted to badly win, and we did it. And it was good because it's help again to bring the belief in football. Unfortunately, I have to tell you this. Somehow, even before, when I came to Singapore and looking at the history of Singapore football, I always believed that we never really, on the 90s, also in 94, that dream team, and when we was winning against big clubs, big countries, we never really build up on that success in the right way, to build up as
to go to the next level.
Yes, to the next level, but also to build up with the youngsters, to strengthening our clubs, strengthening our academies, strengthening schools, whatever we needed to do to have a foundation before we, But it's always focus was winning and winning and winning. There was this kind of like always win and win and win, and by then sometimes your winning is doesn't mean much, because end of the day, people remember. Of course they remember 2012, our team, and the way we win. But what next? What was the next? And we didn't have that next. Next was what was next? Next was Lions 12. They came the project Lions 12, which was failed badly on our league, and our league was suffer so much of that blitz kind of project, which one is. It was not bad because we showed that we have a really good players who can really beat any state of Malaysia, but is that what we really believe? There was a highest actually wasn't. It was just again just like one of those winning moments, but wasn't really build up points, build up kind of future for our football. And I guess today we are paying the price because it's, there wasn't like a real long term
Long-term
plans.
plan, yeah.
Yes, but I guess now I'm involved now in the football, so in more than ever. So I guess now is a lot of investment, a lot of going on. But is now is do we have a patient? This is the problem. In big words, is a patient. How much patient people have, and to wait for some new generation of the players and some really who will really bring that football again in level with in 80s or 90s when there was a generation of Terry or Razali or Sundram or Fandi or Malik or so. Yeah, so it's a patient, and knowing Singapore is patient is the some word which one it doesn't really exist in the dictionary. It's all about this.
Now it's all about now.
Yes, now and now, but it's really we need to find a way that we need to really wait for the next 5 to 10 years, because and even with that in the sport today is it's not like shares. And even shares, they believe if I invest something I want immediate success, and it doesn't work like that. Work like that. So hopefully we have a patient more than ever today to get something in next 5 years, 5 to 10 years.
Okay. So now I've got some questions from our listeners.
Yes.
One of it is probably your friend. He's asking you, why doesn't he support a better English Premier League team? From James Walton.
From James Walton.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Spurs player. Spurs.
And
I can just say that the best team is in the moment the team who is sitting on the top of the table of the English Premier League, and is one and only Arsenal. And we are coming back in our old glory, and it's time for us to win. Not just this year, and another couple of years ahead. I'm looking that we will be champions. The way I see the Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, and all these big Spurs. We don't need to talk about Spurs. They are second division team. They're just hanging there to be relegated sooner or later. So there's I'm a big Arsenal fan. And
when have you been an Arsenal fan from?
I will say not for longer. 1996, when Arsene Wenger came into and the story behind that, Arsene Wenger came in 1996, and to be honest, I did follow English Premier League, but not that much. Didn't really like never Manchester United and Liverpool. I have a kind of soft spot for Liverpool because of the history, and always listening on the radio, Liverpool, and Manchester United was always like here and there. But in 90s, Arsenal was always kind of like, I like the way how they played and all this. They have some names, Tony Adams and all this. But then Arsene Wenger was coming. One of my friends who played under him in Nagoya, Grampus, told me about him. There's a Frenchman and actually he came from Japan. Because before that he was in Monaco, but they went to Japan. And if you remember, when they signed in Arsenal, people ask, wait a minute, but this guy is coming from Japan League, man. It's Japan. It's not France or Spain or Germany or I don't know. They nobody could believe this. But this guy really told me, they said, this guy is bringing the football, which one we will see in the next 20 years, because he's looking football in 20 years ahead. And I told myself, okay, let's see. When I start reading and start doing I like to read. That time was only reading the news and all these things. It wasn't like now these days, social media, everything you can. And I got impressed. And of course, after the way they start playing football, I wasn't really. I'm a big fan of Arsenal. Wasn't really a big fan when he used to play all the foreign players. Never had a first 11 was
Any
all
Englishman?
French, Dutch, and so I didn't really was a fan of that because I always believed that local boys should be there and should give the chance to mix with those superstars from other countries because that's how you learn. That's how you become better. But anyway, long story short, yeah, we have these years when we was really good. We were so close to win few times Champions League, win this and that, and but yeah, I'm a big fan. Still follow. I'm a big fan. I mean, I'm a fan. I like Arsenal, and I'll say, yeah, Arsenal is my top team.
Okay. Before Arsenal, do you support any other club from your childhood?
Oh yes, my family. We are the Red Star Belgrade. Red Star Belgrade is we are the European champions in 1991.
Yeah, correct.
We beat Marseille. If people who don't know that, they can Google and see the team. Dream team of Red Star who was playing that time was those players after that went to play in the biggest European clubs and they won Champions League after that in many clubs and so in the leagues. So that was a team. Unfortunately, in '92 they needed to be split because of the embargo, and they couldn't even play anymore in Champions League. They played the overseas games, and so they were sold. All the best players went in the big teams. Yeah, Red Star Belgrade.
Yeah. European Cup in those days, and nowadays you will never hear things like Red Star Belgrade winning the Champions League because it's a money game.
Yeah, now is they say there's those teams, like Red Star and different teams like
Marseille,
was always there was a fans clubs, the teams with a lot of fans. We had 100,000 every game in the Red Star in Maracana in Belgrade to watch. And today is it's all about money, and the league is basically all about sponsorship money, and it's not anymore. Honestly, I have to say the football is not anymore sport. It's a business. It's a business, and it's a money maker's business, and is like a company, like a huge company. It's like a one huge company. Which one is it's just about making marketing money, and very little about fans. It's fans is there just to buy the jerseys, and there's a lot of so-called fake fans who is really just go from club to club. And if it's Adidas get a good future of their jerseys, they go for that club because it's really fashionable to walk on the street and show
That's
that.
True. That's true.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah,
we're from a different generation.
Yes,
where we supported the club because of
we
the
was
club.
we was a passion about football and the team, and not about all those kind of marketing things and all these side games. But fortunately, this has become number one sport, which is nothing connected to football.
So now next question is from someone called Satria Mera. He said, I believe you make a better head coach than Firdaus Qasim. Will you provide guidance and support to help discipline the younger generations, particularly those in the Young Lions? The current Young Lions team is underperforming compared to their predecessors, especially when considering their third place finishes in 2004 and 2006.
This Young Lions is an enigma of I think will never stop talking. And as a football player and as a man who is involved in football, and Firdaus Qasim is a coach who I will not criticize at all, and not any another coach, not only him. He's the guy who is in charge of Young Lions. Really wishing him all the best, and I believe that you bring another coach, and whatever you bring, and I believe that this will be not any much different. We have to understand this. Young Lions players is actually very young team, very young. You're talking about 2004. There was a Khairul Amri and generation, Sharik Ishak, if I remember, those boys. That was in those age in 22, 23, and we're talking about players who is now 17, 18, very, very young for the league. Which one is we talking about senior league and Young Lions battling against the players who is double age and probably 30s and physically and mentally I don't see how they can compete against those senior players. And look in the schedule of those young players. We have to look in not just in results. Yes, results is not great. Of course, they're losing every game, and it's not nice because in football is all about results. But Young Lions is not the team who is about winning the league. I honestly don't want to see them to win the league. I want them to see the best players playing. They play with the develop the best players. So this team is to develop the best players. We have a developing the all best. I believe if we can every year make few players to some clubs will take them away from the Young Lions. I think that's already bonus. But it's those boys is actually looking the schedule of their lives, and I will say it's really tough because they study. Some of them study full time. Some of them is in army. They're coming in late evenings to train. For example, they're playing game tomorrow. I know they're playing tomorrow night game and against Tanjung Pagar. Monday night game. I believe 100% of those players and Fidal Kasim will wait. Who will come and what time they'll come? 7 o'clock or 7:30 before 5 minutes game start because they will coming from school. They will coming from the camp, army camp. I'm sure in army camp, they no sleep all day. They are in doing some scheduling things in army, and they will not have a rest. And you talking about senior players who is waiting, they will be sleeping and having good food and good rest. And young boys, I don't really defend them. It's not good the way we see how they played in a C game. But I believe if we hopefully the age what they are now carrying 17 years old in 2-3 years, hopefully they can bring themselves up. Of course they need some games to win and hopefully they'll get some confidence. I mean his one is there, but I think that's not enough. I mean few players, senior players will not help team because there's still a majority of these very young players. What we can do, I think the support and see. Am I involved? I'm involved in football with the youngsters and in younger age groups, and I do trying to help every child to play football. Which is my aim is actually this what this listener asked is to teach the kids is football. Yes, it's important to win the games, but it's more important is to teach them some really values of the football to be a footballer. Values to learn how to be carried to be a footballer mentally, physically, and also outside. Also to be a good citizen of our country. Make sure they really understand that is sacrifices they do in they want to be football player. It's very big and the discipline is important. Also, they to giving the to best for self for the teammates, and so I also try in my Active SG Football Academy. I really have these kind of things for my coaches with my coaches to kids to really learn more the values, and we wanted to actually teach those kids first character to be as a good persons than footballers, because trust me, I played many countries, and Singapore was also a big part of my life, and I saw big names here, big names of football. Unfortunately, they didn't go far away just because of that, because they struggle with these values and they struggle with their life, and didn't have a big support. They didn't have a support from anybody. And I hope that today we, those boys, and we shouldn't criticize much, because these young boys in Young Lions, they feel that, they read that, because the social media today is, everybody read that, and we shouldn't criticize, but we could kind of try to help in any way how to help these boys to perform better. And but honestly, look at their schedule in their life. I doubt that any better they can, because it's just they are so much in pressurized outside of the football, because they still need to study, they still need to perform in the army, and they still need to do the duties as soldiers, and then coming and train, and it's really huge burden on those young boys. And we have to understand it's not easy, but we have to give them some time, and hopefully with the coach and his team. I think he have a good team. I think I saw these assistants and all this. He's young coach, and he knows these boys. They've been with him I think for a long time. He's not a new coach, Firdaus Kasim. And so I and he knows there's a pressure in but I'm sure he's trying the best like any of us to help these boys and yeah I'm trying also. I'm trying to help. I'm not in that system. I'm not in with Young Lions. If they need my help, I don't mind to help. If they ever need any help in any department of the strikers or whatever, I'm always here. I mean, we are here. Myself and everybody else. I want to help, but I'm helping in as much I can in this different way. Yeah.
Okay. Next one is from Muhammad Shahid bin Arif. Also regarding Young Lions, if you are given the task to lead Young Lions or form the SEA Games squad to win the SEA Games gold medal, what would you want to be done by FAS or what would you request from FAS?
Look, like we always dream to players to go and play overseas. If we can send some of those youngsters in Young Lions in today to some overseas clubs to attachment and be promised to play some games and train, that would be one of those things. But I know it's not easy because again we know this is army. Army is it's a one of the obstacles. School commitment, NS school, and the parents. I understand they want to kids to have a diploma, but sometimes you need to sacrifice. Sometimes you have to have risk to make, and yeah, that was one option. Another option, I believe that those boys who is in army should have some again. We should think about in all the time when we had this sport unit when the boys was had a more support from the MINDEF and government to train a little bit more. They have a little bit more staying in trainings. Have a little bit more rest than rest of the soldiers. I understand equally that I was a soldier, and we believe that every soldier should be equal. And whatever who you are, but I also trained when I was they give us the call commanders was give us and we was together. I believe in Singapore, in army, we know there's camps is not that far from each other. If we can bring that boys in one camp, stay in one unit together, whatever is the 10 of them, 12 of them, 15 of them, and then they can stay in same camp and have them in together to have some individual training in the camp in whatever they. I know most camp have some gyms and they have beaches and so they can train there and be together, have some time together, and then I think it will help also Young Lions and and then with some afternoon rest, because we really need to support them because it's having that some duties all day and being in different part of the Singaporean camps and coming just for the trainings. Young Lions traveling all the way to Jalan Besar may not be ideal. We forget these young boys how much pressure they have just outside, not just in football. So if we can get this unit again to be in one place and with one coach who is being allowed to come into the camp and coach, train these kids, train these boys and give them more hours to train because look, I train 6 hours, 7 hours, and nobody give me any chance. You never know that per day, and you didn't know are you going to succeed in any way. And we talking now these boys maybe train 2 hours and spend 1 hour in the bus, and none of them drive. They don't, and spending in MRT with no food, no good nutrition, no good sleep. We I think asking too much from those boys. No coach can help, and I'm sure he also want to have more trainings, more camps, more travels. But here, I believe that even traveling is difficult because some of these boys in army can't even travel, can't be get out. So I think for start, I believe that just keep them together in one camp, in one unit, having the 15 boys and together and having the train in extra. It probably will help the fitness, help them to be have a more freshness in the legs when the games come.
I think the complication is also not just the army; it's also those who are in police and civil defense. They are working shift. They work shift, and then they again the same thing, same reason. Not enough rest.
Yes.
Not enough nutrition, perhaps. Not enough time to train because of shift work. So that's another complication.
I believe we are the country. We can settle many things we can make that happen. I think that this even if they're in different in army, if they're army and police or the civil defense, I think this all can come out in the end to be again, make them to be somewhere together in the because they need to train more than they one session in the evening when they are most tired, how much really they can perform and when they come for the games also, it's just tiring. It's just they're just tired, constantly tired, and you're building up tiredness. And how can performance, like I can't see, I really can't see, because I've been in football. I know as a footballer how much important is to have a good rest, have a good food, and have a good support in nutrition and all these things. And if you are you're standing all day, and doesn't matter how young you are going to suffer 100%, and no way you can concentrate fully on the game in the evening. So as much they are so passionate and all this, it doesn't help, because you are playing against some senior, much older guys who is really have a more trainings, have a more support, more rest. So it's tough. It's tough.
Okay, the next question comes from Lingesh Ramasamy. He says he is kind of poster boy for foreigner player coming to Singapore to play and naturalized to don the SG jersey. Does he feel currently with the SPL is there going to be more foreign players like him naturalize and contribute to our Singapore football? Is it still attractive from a foreigner point of view? And have any foreigners approached you to go through this route?
I mean, today, as we all know, the rules is by FIFA very clear that you have to be minimum 5 years in the country to play, and before we even consider to any association, up to them if they want to consider for you to be naturalized a citizen. So it's very strict procedure. For the players who want to be naturalized, I always believe that they really need to contribute in the way, not just to playing as a football players, but also like a human beings, to be outside of field, also very good in to helping the community, helping the clubs, and all these things. Secondly, they definitely have to show some talent and show that they are better than what we have in the country. They have to. There's a pressure. There's a football. Football is a pressure. It's about performance. There's nothing else. So being foreign or local, doesn't matter who you are. You have to perform to the top, and every game is a performance to the best. So there's no lies. The people today, they understand. That many people now understand more than ever football, and we always know it. So you really need to be good. You have to be really good. You have to be much better than what we have in our country, whatever it is. And why not? If he's really good and we believe that he's can contribute to our national team, why not? We do have now. We have Song. We have the Nakamura. So it's we have a boys who is been with us in so long, and they perform really well. And they are now in Singapore. They are welcome and playing well. So why not in the future also consider? But we never. We can't forget that they really need to be good. They need to have some quality, which one is needed in the team.
Okay. Anyone approached you to
No. I guess I'm not I'm not a coach in a sense of the coaching any national team. So I don't. I do talk about, like, with my friends. They always ask me who will be next one, and I do follow the league very closely. I watch all the games. Honestly, at the moment, I don't see any foreigners that they can say he can be. Some maybe, I don't want to name names now. One or two maybe have a kind of maybe have a future in it, but you never know, because you really constantly need to perform, because there's one game good and then you are not there for next 10 games, and now you get injured and you are not, and it doesn't really help you in the long term to become any good player. But don't talk about any naturalized player. So it's a constant battle. Each player have to understand it's a constant battle with yourself You need to really understand that football is a life and something which when you really need to sacrifice everything else to become the best. And I believe a lot of our players, youngsters, doesn't understand that yet because of the social media and the hoop when the fans and all these guys who like a guy because he's good looking and he have a good hair and he fashion sense is very good, but on the field he really doesn't perform well. And that is the problem. We are now have this fake of the hope of those best players, but actually
also
performance wise is when you look at it's not constant. Yeah, they play one good game and then is the social media bring them up, and then you don't see them they're playing well in for a long time. So we have to be careful of that because it's social media today is we have a lot of we're making more Instagram players than we're making real national players. So it's a something which one is it's a danger of modern football, and we are not. I'm not talking just in Singapore. It's generally in around the world.
Next question from Muhammad Imran Muhammad Rizal. Toughest ASEAN player he ever faced during his playing time with the Lions. ASEAN. So this
ASEANs.
Would be, whenever you face them in AFF.
I mean, it was like always Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia. There's like those the team at Thailand had with Tersak and Zico and Surachai and so many those players, and Malaysia when with all those legends of that time, my time when I was playing, it's like it was always battles. Don't just talk about Southeast Asia. It's like it was always every game was his bigger pressure was. I always felt there's a bigger pressure play against these teams than any another Asian team. Against Japan, I was like easier to play for South Korea or Jordan or anybody than Malaysia, and you're like. People like expect us, make sure the Malaysia you never lose. Yeah, I remember. Just don't lose against Malaysia. Anything else, but just don't lose. And so it was always pressure, and I honestly always like that because I like play under pressure. I felt if I'm not playing under pressure, I don't perform. Because I like that, and I try to pressurize my teammates also to feel the same. Because without pressure, you are really you're not going to be ever a great player. You have to feel that something in your body that is pressurizing to bring you best, push you, push you over the limit. Because you can play good football and all these things, but you are somehow in this comfort zone. You have to really go over the comfort zone when it's like really do or die. Always do or die. Every game, every duel, every minute, every second, every 90 minutes, 95, 100 minutes is all do or die. And there's it's never stop. And do or die after the game also, win or lose. It's the next game. And so it's the next training, it's the next recovery session, is next all these things. And so people don't understand, and the players now these days don't understand how much is this job is so pressurizing and it's not easy, and look very glamour for the people who never played and look those players on the field, but it's actually very lonely place to be sometimes, because because of that pressure and because of if you losing the games in the big games, finals, big national teams games, and you feel very lonely after in your room. And I hope these listeners will remember that, because so they can appreciate those players who's on the field carry the national flag or in the league playing for the clubs, because it's not easy. It's not easy. That's why we're talking about young lions, and they poor boys. I feel sorry for them, because they are so much under pressure, and I don't want them to be lonely because they're super young. I could be lonely because I was in age where I could really cope with that pressure. But they are very young, and 16, 17, 18 years old. They're not even close to 23. And we're talking about 23 years old, but they're not. Majority of them know in that age.
Okay. Next question from John Jani Janardhan. How do you stay so fit at this age?
The sport was sport generally was my escape of the life, and I will say that kayaking and canoeing was a huge part of my this fitness of the individual fitness, because when you are football is a team sport, you depending a lot of much also on your teammates,
Yeah.
passes, movement off the ball, with the ball, support. But when you're in an individual sport, it's all about yourself. How much effort you put, that how much your result get. Trust me. And I realized that from the day one. And my coach was really always tell me the same things. You want to train 1 hour, or you want to train 3 hours in the gym? You want to run 42 kilometers, or you want to run 5K? Up to you. But in 3 months, I'll tell you when you go on the race and see where you're going to finish. And that's how it was. So I started running 42Ks or 45K when I was 16, 15 years old. And I stay in the gym for 3 hours.
Wow.
And I train individually, very much in whatever I could. And I spent 6 hours per day in the training, and that stay until today. And I was always disciplined. I never smoked, never drink. Food was always limited to me. Even when I came here in '99, was my biggest shock. Also, not just see the peaches, but I also see we call ourselves professional, but we only train once a day. And then I thought myself, oh, I'm 29. If I train once a day, I may retire in next couple of years, or maybe 1 year, because I know used to this. And I used to train all the time in the morning, go gym and do individual training, come to the Greenstown, do shooting training or do the finishing. And guess what? The players used to tell me, Alex, don't spoil the market, because if you're doing this, the coaches will start bringing all of us to train twice a day. But actually, that was the way, and that's how it should be. You have to understand this is your job. It's not a hobby. I sometimes feel that, a lot of players here, they believe it's a hobby because they are distracted with the many another jobs they do. I understand pay is not great, but I never really look. If I tell you how much I was getting in first part of the Singapore when I came here, you'll be shocked. Money I was getting here, but I never was for money. I went for the passion and love for the sport, and I was always wanted to be in best shape, because I believe if you are physically really ready, and I had the good coaches who would really believe in that. Physically, you have to be always in the top shape, and guess what? Mentally, you are always prepared. Whatever came on you in football, in life, you will survive because you are strong physically. And so that physical shape, I went through a lot of upside down in my life, not just in football, but in personal life and all this. But the sport actually hold me together because of that. So today, yeah, I still run. I mean, I run. I love running long distance now. I love cycling. I love gym. I love still playing football. I like meet friends, and we talk about football, talk about everything. But yeah, it's some sacrifices you have to do. I know Singapore is very
Easy.
foodie place, when food is a big
also,
culture,
yeah.
big part of the culture. I understand. I mean, every country have these kind of things, but we have to be careful. Today life is much more harder than was my generation when I was growing up. We had a much more freedom. We had a more kind of relaxing time. But today is when you wake up in the morning is already start of the pressure and how to survive all day and the day. So please take the sport, and whatever you do, walking, cycling, anything, it will help you physically. And when you're physically a little bit stronger, mentally you will definitely feel much better.
I just want to digress a bit from these questions. A lot of times you've spoken about positive things. Any time in your career that you felt low, any low points in your career, any regrets you have in your footballing career?
Yes, I'm very positive guy. I kept myself very positive for the youngsters as a young age. I believe my life shaped me when I grew up in my village, and I worked with my dad on the fields and all these things, and shaped who I am today. Never changed myself. I'm a still small boy, and from there, of course, I had it was a low when when you are, especially when in football and when you're not playing well, you're not scoring goals, you come under the pressure because you know that you are not there, and helping the team, and you are low in the confidence, because usually there's all about confidence, how much you are as a person confident in yourself that you can deliver whatever you do, whatever is a football, whatever is you do in life. You need to be positive, confident in yourself that you can do that. And I of course I had many times, and lucky for myself, I could always kind of drift myself back in the top, because I believe in myself. So you need to believe. The believe is a big things in words. I have three words: confidence, positive, four words. Confidence, you have to be really positive. Definitely, you believe in yourself. Believe in your people. I believe in people. Sometimes even my bosses today tell me, "Hey, Alex, you believe too much to your coaches that but you have to believe in them. You have to believe, because it's they are your buddies. They are people who are working with you. So you have to believe in they are one who is always with you." And the last one I believe is you need to have respect for yourself. You have to respect yourself. If you respect yourself, you respect everybody around you, and is also one of the big words, because I always respect the way I live, and I respect everybody around me, and in the way I want them to be respected, and then you feel better, and you get this the momentum in the life that whatever hard things come, he will go, definitely will go, and you can't keep in yourself. You need to really let go, but of course you have to be surrounded with the good people also. You can't just be on your own, because being on your own is a tough task to do anything. So I give the good example that we are lucky in the football that we are in the team sport, so we have a lot of good teammates, and so everybody chip in and help each other. And that's why when the team doesn't work well, there's some fracture in there, and usually those teams don't do well in end of the season and all this, like a Manchester United. so let's see tonight. But that's the things. For me.
Okay. So Keith is asking, can he go back to Tanjung Pagar and score some goals?
He go or me?
You.
Me. No, I rather see Alam Shah is a head coach there, so I would like to see him first before me go. I can maybe just to be there as a supporter, but I don't think so. Today is I mentioned today's football. Well, I'm still fit guy, but I could maybe play a few minutes, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to touch ball. Yeah.
Okay. Saiful Anif is asking, this is in your language, Sta radis tokom dana.
Sta radi
tokom dana. If I use Google Translate, it means what do you do during the day?
What do I do during the day? Yeah, što radiš? Okay, šta radiš danas? I am a principal of Active SG Football Academy. It's coming up to this April will be, you have your 100th episode. I have 10 years of the Active SG Football Academy.
Nice.
There's a grassroots academy which one started with 5 centers in 2016, and today I have 19 centers and 4,000 kids playing football on the weekends, and enjoying playing, having fun, and trying to my job is basically I would love to give to every kid opportunity to play sport, football, particular for my job. The way that I see those kids is I don't see them there will be any of them. First of all, I never seen them any of them will professional. I want them to first they love the sport, enjoy having fun, and hopefully then in years coming, staying in Active SG Football Academy, to some of them will really think about to take the football as a really career. And some of them, majority who don't, stay and remember there was in that academy to become fans and love for the sport one day, to follow our national team, follow our local league, and also when they grow up, if they become businessmen and and or whatever job they do, if they see some kids, see some guys, and they remember they used to maybe play in same center, football center in Singapore football, maybe they will invest in, if they become success people, invest in our youth, invest in our football, and be in the big way on the help the football in Singapore, because we are a very small country. Talent is here, it is very limited, and we have to understand that getting now having these big numbers of kids playing, hopefully we can bring hopefully find some really talented kids which we probably don't see before, because those kids may play somewhere but never have a chance to be spotted. And my job is now to the last 10 years to do that job. Of course, I'm also part of the Unleash the Raw project, and this is also another great platform for the kids to in elite part, when they can train every day, and with a good coaching setup, good support from the coaches, goalkeeper coaches, physios, fitness coaches, analyze the games, and we have this SYL league, when we never had it before, which is really great for the kids to play games on the weekend. And just coming and thinking about they have a game on the weekend is a great thing for the kids. Hopefully they in also 5-10 years that league will be super strong, and have a quality, bigger quality when they're in the moment. But at the moment, any start is good things, because we need those give the opportunity for the kids, boys and girls, and hopefully we can invite and we be more involved in this sporting journey of the kids, boys and girls. I hope that they also they have to understand that the kids study is important, but also is a sport is have to play a big part in now more than ever, because his motor skill and the younger generation is really questionable at the moment, because is less and less is having the playing time activities in outside of the schools, activities in the home, because is I find that is 24 days getting shorter and shorter. Our days when we was younger was a day was really long, and full of joy, and full of today days getting shorter. Even is still we call 24 hours but I feel is at least 5-6 hours is taken away from all of us, because it's so fast lives going on. And can imagine for us who is adults, we forget what about kids. They are even shorter, the days even shorter, school commitment of the studies, the tuitions and all this, where they get any help to do the some fun activities. There's zero, and getting worse and worse. And so we need to really look around and see how we can help these youngsters to get more involved in physical activities, whatever is a football or any another sport. And because we will need, end of the day, they are one who's going to take this country forward, and we need them to be physically, mentally strong to do that. And for the boys, definitely serving the national army is also a big part, and is always will be. And we need to prepare them for that. And at the moment, I see this younger generation it's I would say that much softer than it was, and the sport can really do the wonder to everybody. Yeah.
The last question I have is from one of our former guests. He's asking you who coached his first touch, and it's none other than Mr. Muhammad Noor Ali.
My brother. Oh gosh. My first touch with him was I was always questionable, and he was always one who always questioned my first touch. But I said I helped myself, because I was very fast, so I could hide that my first touch, and the goals was helping me to cover those old mistakes I did. But without him, well, I scored about 380 goals. I believe in 200 plus goals was through him and his crosses in a great Noor Ali. He's not in that shape, I must say today. I'm in still same shape, and unfortunately he's not in that shape anymore. I don't know.
What advice do you have for him?
Advice I have with him, join me for trainings and make him to be in better shape. But he's busy with his coaching in Geelong.
Yeah.
My Manuali.
All right, Duric, thank you very much. It's been a long session and you've shared a lot extensively about your life, about football. And it's been great to know the journey that you've been on. And I thank you as well for warm-heartedly and wholeheartedly being part of this show of our special 100th episode as well. And wishing you congratulations for 10 years in the as part of Active SG's Academy's principal, which was when we think about principal, we think about one principal in school that's really strict and all, but you're a different type of principal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a people and kids principal. Person. Which one is? Yes. I like to say that I'm not the principal of the school. Definitely not. I try to be give some knowledge and some good energy for the kids and the academy. Yeah.
Mm. So we've completed 100 episodes. We've interviewed a lot of former players. Before we go, we always ask you, who would you like us to interview next?
Well, I don't know who you interview before because I know some names, but I want to give you maybe some advice. I know you wanted to interview most of our ex-players. If you can expand to the Southeast Asia players who is been in with us and will be great because there's a lot of those players who play against Singapore and they knows all of us and we know all of them and they can also talk about how they've been doing now because there's a lot of those our generation grow up and watching those guys out there. So I wish if you are interested to maybe you can start with some those ex-players, foreign players or Thai players or Indonesian and Malaysian who used to play in our league because we had those players playing here to interview them. So I'm hoping, I will not say the locals, I'm looking forward to my former captain of Tesak Chaiman you call him and interview him because he had a long stint in Singapore football and I'm sure he still follow the Singapore football. So I would love to see him as one of the guests in the future. But for you, I really amazing that you are already 100th episode and that means it's really great and you had a really good I'm happy that I was a part of this your broadcast and thank you so invitation. Yeah, and I'm wishing you all the best. We will definitely. I will support and everything about football. I will support. This is my life and until I die.
Yes, same. It's the same for me as well. And I do professionally also. It revolves around football.
Yes,
so
I know.
Yeah, so football is life for me as well.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. If you can link me up to Tersak.
Yes, I will. I'll text you his number. Yes.
Yeah. All right. I will love to interview him. Yes. We have done Suti.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. I've interviewed him. So now let's go for Tersak.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Ciao.
Thank you. Good evening. Bye.